Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to make a very simple focaccia. Well, we're making two types. One of them sounds a bit strange, but I've seen it and it's, well, I've got to try it. And it's feta cheese with honey drizzle over the top of it. So you've got a mixture of the saltiness of the feta and the sweetness of the honey. So it should work out with that triangle thing that people go on about, chefs and stuff. And also we're going to do one a bit more traditional. So we're going to do enough dough for two focaccias today. And it's a very simple method, not too involved. If you see some of the focaccia recipes, they involve for 24 hours, not necessary with my recipe. I hope you enjoy it. Like I say, we're going to do the feta and honey topping, and then we're going to do a more traditional one, which is just going to be whatever you got left really from your cooking. So we're going to use some onions that I've got still, some spring onions, some cheese, some tomatoes if I've got them. So I'll end up with two different focaccias, so the neighbours will be pleased because they like it and I can't keep eating it because, you know, weight and all that. So I'll come back to you when I get all the ingredients together. Okay, here's the ingredients that I'm going to use to make the very simple and quick focaccia. My recipe, maybe repeated by others, but I do things slightly different. We've got salt. I know it's a sugar dispenser, but I like the old-fashioned thing, and it's got salt in for me. So it's 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of quick yeast, 2 tablespoons of olive oil. It doesn't have to be a fancy olive oil. This one's from Lidl. It's about £4, I think. 1 teaspoon of sugar. And this is where my recipe is slightly different, I think, to a few others. You need I'm doing 50-50 on the flours. So it's 300 grams of white strong bread flour. That's the little one again, which I found to be excellent for the money. And 300 grams of self-raising. Now, so that's 600 grams in total, and added to that would be a water at about 30 degrees, not too hot, not too cold, so it doesn't kill the yeast. And you have about 450 ml of water to that mixture in your stand mix or in your bowl, however you do it. You don't need to over mix that. Normal bread mixes you do for about 15 minutes in a stand mixer like this. This will get about 6 or 7 minutes until it starts to look a bit stretchy, and then we'll stop the mix. Right, I'll get this lot mixed up and then I'll come back to you when I'll show you the consistency that you're looking for and then what we're going to do with it next. Okay, it's been about 8-9 minutes now, and I thought I'd just show you the consistency of the dough, so you don't think you've got it wrong, because the first time I did it I thought, oh, this isn't right, but it's very sticky, like, can you see that? That's what I mean, it sticks like Play-Doh, remember that? Yeah, you got that in your hair, you do it. Come on, you don't get it in my hair now. So, I'm going to take this out of this bowl eventually, and it's going in a bowl which has been lightly oiled, along with a piece of cling film that's also been lightly oiled, and then we'll set that aside. Now, ideally, if you've got 2 hours, that's what you need. But what we do every half hour, because we're trying to make that focaccia bread sort of bubbly, if you like, we do what's called folding. Some people do it, some people don't. But I've done it and I've done it without. And I find that if you fold it, it sort of gets lighter and more focaccia like, if that's a thing, like bubbles in it and things. So that's gone in there, very sticky, like that. I have seen it stickier than that, but that's fine for me. And then we're going to set that aside for 2 hours, but every half an hour, so 4 times in total, we're going to come and we're going to do a fold. I'll show you on the first one. I'm not going to show it you 4 times, I'll show it you once, and we'll come back to you then. Just a quick note, it needs to be in a room about 20 degrees or above, 20-25 degrees for the 2 hours bit. If it's a bit colder, you can leave it a bit longer, a bit warmer, a bit shorter. You're looking for it not to quite double in size, because it's not a bread as such that we've done before. Just thought I'd mention about the temperature. See you when we're folding it. Okay, it's been 30 minutes now, so I'm going to gently remove that. And it's started to grow a bit, as you can see. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab it on one side. It's really sticky, so just give me a minute. I'll just wet my hands. So wet your hands, pull like that. You can see how it's doing that, and then fold it over, turn it through, and pull again, stretching, and then over, turn again. So it's like 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. Grab it again, so as you can see what it's going like now. Fold it, and then finally the fourth fold, grab it, stretch it, fold it over. I'll just get my hands clean. And then back on with the cling film. And we'll leave that for another half an hour, and then a half an hour, and then a half an hour. So we'll repeat that 4 times, give or take. You can do as many as you want really, but 4 times seems to be okay. That's long enough to wait. And at that point, we tip it out into some dishes ready for cooking, and I'll show you that in a little while. Okay, now that's what it looks like after 2 hours of folding and pushing back in. It's like a cushion, as you can see. So what I'm going to do now, I'm making 2. So I've got 2 trays like this, and I'm going to liberally put olive oil in 2 of them and divide that in 2, and I'll come back to you when I show you how I'm doing that. Okay, so I've oiled 2 of these pans now. You see there's plenty in there. Don't hold back on the oil, otherwise you'll never get it out. Now I'm just going to get two lots out of that dough, which is easier said than done. So I'll try and do it while you're still on. Yep, there's one. In she goes. And there's the other. Now I'll show you what you need to do with this. It's a bit strange because it wants to come back all the time, so you've got to keep stretching it. Wet your fingers with the olive oil that you've got in the pan and keep stretching it to the sides, and you'll find it wants to come back all the time, which is a bit strange, but that's what it seems to want to do every time I've done it. But you can see I'm getting that shape now, and eventually it should stay there eventually. Now get that olive oil in your fingers and press it in so you get that effect, that, like dimples if you like, and that sort of helps do it. You can see it's beginning to behave now and stay over there, but it'll still come back at you because we're going to leave this for another half an hour anyway. So you can see there's plenty of oil there, and it seems to be relaxing now. I'll show you in a second. And you're just getting it as even as you can really. That doesn't want to do in that corner there, so this will happen to you, believe me. It's just one of them things. So in with the fingers, get your dimples in like that, and that's roughly where you want to be, like that. So I'll get on with the other one now, and I'll come back to you when we're putting the toppings on and we're getting them in the oven. That one is tomato, onions, and some spring onions, and some bit of cheese, some black pepper. This is the one that's a bit unusual, which I heard about on the internet, which is just literally feta cheese and honey drizzled on it. So I'll come back to you when they're cooked and we'll see how they look. Right, that's them out of the oven now. Unfortunately, the one with feta and honey on, yeah, it sort of, well, I dropped it. To be honest, I actually dropped it because I burnt my fingers. But I managed to salvage 2 pieces out of it because it was not in a good way. But the other one I didn't manage to drop, and that looks absolutely lovely and tastes real nice. The other one tasted nice as well, but that's all that's sort of left of it. So oven gloves next time, I think. Alright, thanks for watching to the end. So what did you think of the focaccia then? Turned out really nice. It's lovely, and the neighbours were very pleased with their bit anyway. So thanks for watching to the end. I really appreciate it. Give that recipe a try. It's not that difficult at all, and it's a fantastic result. If you like the video, please subscribe, or at least give me a thumbs up if you can. I'd really appreciate that. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.